Women don't learn how to do things wrong. We do because we go out and try to be pigheaded and learn all the wrong ways.
On today's Throwdown Thursday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis discuss off-season recruitment, celebrate Title IX, as well as provide insight into projected college basketball rosters for the 2022-2023 season. Welcome to today's show. The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CCA Save Project. The CCA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner, the John Cena to my Randy Orton in the WWE, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, John Cena has been in the WWE for 20 years, and they're going to celebrate it this week. So I had to sneak in a John Cena reference, and of course, any chance I get to mention RKO, Randall Keith Orton, I'm going to take advantage of it because, yes, Randy Orton's middle name is Keith. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well, doing well.
All right, all these random notes that, only work at the bar and trivia. All right, so on today's Throwdown Thursday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, we're going to talk some off-season recruiting notes. We're going to celebrate Title IX, and I'm going to share some data with my tag team partner about off-season basketball, college basketball news in terms of the newcomers coming in, because I was out on the road checking things out for the OCP, and I can't wait to get his thoughts on this. But again, a melancholy welcome. I hate this, Mike. Darius Lee, a senior at Houston Baptist University in Texas, was killed last week. The university said he grew up in Harlem, attended school in New York, and the New York Daily News reported that there was a gathering. It was a cookout organized by Harlem rapper Rich Reimer, who posted invitations on his Instagram account. He noticed that his two prior cookouts had went violence free, and he wrote, "Let's go for a three-peat." So it was a guys trying to get the neighborhood together. Lee is a guard and forward. He played at community college in New York before going to Houston Baptist. He was scheduled to graduate in December with a bachelor's degree in sports management. He was recently named the university's male student athlete of the year, led the team in scoring and rebounding. He was sixth in the nation in steals, second team all Southland Conference. All of this sounds like he could have played overseas, plied his trade, and gun violence again rears its ugly head. So I definitely wanted to mention that. I hate that we have to talk about these types of stories, but this is a young man who did his best to get out of his situation, take advantage of opportunities, and unfortunately, tragically, his life came to an end, sir. So I wanted to share that with you. Any thoughts before we move on?
It's sad to hear about it again. Another young person, and again lost to violence. And there was so many things that don't have anything to do with sports that make it so tough.
Mm-hmm. And again, Mike and I are coaches. We've had players lost to violence throughout our careers. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. As we transition into the regular part of our show, this kid appears to be the next big thing. Arch Manning has said, "I'm going to the University of Texas with Steve Sarkisian," and he has been long considered the top player in the class of 2023. This is a big deal, apparently, because this kid is supposed to be a program changing type talent. Mike, one, I don't even know if you've even seen this kid play, but can he play? I know what his last name is, but This is supposed to be a program changing talent. What do you think?
I saw the highlights. I think he's potential to be pretty good, but the last time I heard those words uttered was like not good. You know what I mean? Like you think back to those guys who everybody thought was like program changers and the Manziels and the Baker Mayfields and all these guys. I'm gonna go back to Todd Marinovich, whose dad never let him eat McDonald's because
That off, yeah.
you know what I mean. Like I it's gonna be tough. The kid has some tools. I will say he has some tools. Doesn't hurt who his last name is, but he has some tools. It's going to be tough though, because by the time he plays, it'll be 3 years from now anyway. That's where
Well,
he can play well.
he's supposed to come in. Here's what's supposed to happen according to reports. Texas has 2 years left in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is not the SEC. So between him, Edrin Jane's sons coming in, they're going to have a lot of good recruits, and they're going to beat up on a lot of Kansas and Kansas State as they get ready to play. And then by the time they get to the SEC, unless they come early, let's go hook 'em horns. That's
Yeah,
what allegedly is supposed to happen.
yeah, they'll be redshirt sophomores before they hit the field. So
All right. And the ladies, too. Michaela Williams, the top ranked recruit of the class of 2023, according to ESPN Hoops Girls, has committed to Kim Mulkey at LSU. All right. So she is a 6'1 guard from Louisiana, and she chose LSU over Ole Miss, Baylor, Duke, and Texas A&M. And Kim Mulkey is doing her thing right now. So even with the young women, they're getting those recruits in.
but
So we'll be looking forward to checking her out. Yes,
but
sir.
but um, South Carolina didn't offer this girl.
She chose going back uh, from Ole Miss, Baylor, Duke, and Texas A&M. That was her final five. So don't cry for Dawn Staley. I think Dawn will be all right.
Oh, you said Baylor?
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. But they got her. Uh, we're going to talk about the G League a little bit because five-star recruit Mateus Buzelis is the the number 11th player ranked in the ESPN Top 100 for the class of 2023. He's committed to the G League. He's going to bypass college and sign professionally as he graduates from the Sunrise Christian Academy in Kansas. This kid is 6'10", Illinois
16.
native, started the Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, narrowed his college choices, and this is why I wanted to talk about it with you briefly, Mike. He chose from Kentucky, North Carolina, Florida State, Wake Forest, and the G League. So he's going to play for the G League Ignite, based out of Northern California. And former guard Jason Hart is beginning his second season as the program's coach. And several recent players were picked in the NBA draft, including number 8, Dyson Daniels, one of the players that I had mentioned to you. He was picked by New Orleans. And 24 pick, Marjan Beauchamp, was picked by Milwaukee. So as we had mentioned in the NBA episode, we've got a guy now, even in the world of NIL, who had to choose from Kentucky, North Carolina, Florida State, and Wake Forest. And he said, give me the G League. Any thoughts on that, sir?
He doesn't want to go to class. I mean, he's perfectly right. He has a right to do so. He just didn't want to be in school.
So here's the thing I wanted to ask about with the G League. So one, you're a professional. So you get a check, you get a salary, they defer some money if you want to for school, but you get to work in an NBA environment. You get to work with NBA coaches. You get to play men. You're not playing St. Leo. You are working with men every day. You are a professional. You got your agents. You got everything around you as a pro.
Hmm.
So, man, I just think more and more kids who are of that caliber will make that choice because John Wall sat home last year and got 44 mil. I don't care about your Mercedes-Benz dealership. I don't care about your Eastern Motors. I was 44 mil. Your boy Kyrie got 37 mil, and it's his option whether to sign or not. So I can't. We will keep an eye on all of these types of moves and maneuvers.
Your job's your credit.
We're going to move on. Will they share the money? The Ohio State Buckeyes have now trademarked the the trademark, which initially applied for in August of 2019, took 3 years to get approved, and I'm sure it wasn't free, and will apply to any application on clothing apparel. So, Mike, will they share the money with the athletes, or is this kind of be something that they hold on to themselves? What do you think?
Well, the athletes didn't invest in it, probably didn't put money into the case of getting it trademarked, the investment, the research, and all that. So I'm sure they'll keep that away from the athlete. The athlete has no chance now.
The Ohio State University will end this segment. Shout out to Eddie Jackson because he loves the Ohio State University. Got to get you on the show, Eddie. And we'll talk to all of you on the other side of this break on the Coaches Podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CCA Save Project academic monitoring service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're going to celebrate Title IX. Under proposed Title IX regulations for the federal government released last week on the anniversary of the law, coaches and athletic department administrations will still be barred in most cases from removing an athlete accused of sexual misconduct from a sports team while investigation is still pending. So we still have a ways to go. While the U.S. Department of Education proposed rolling back several Title IX provisions enacted in 2020 by the Trump administration, including the standard of evidence needed to determine violations. If a violation occurs, it still keeps pace with the provision that prevents disciplinary actions against students until an investigation has determined they were at fault. I say all of this to say we are in a polarizing time, and schools still need to be conscious of the fact that there are huge gaps between men and women athletics. CKA has hosted events for both men and women. We did a scholarship for years for both male and female student athletes. Coach Franchise's work in the community is well documented, and I don't want us to pause and just celebrate Title IX. I want us to pause and make sure that we continue to push the envelope to make sure that, hey, these things have to take place, and we still have to continue to provide opportunities for women to apply their trade athletically. Mike, any thoughts as somebody who's not only a father, but a mentor, a teacher, who's worked, and my favorite girls tennis coach?
I would hate to see the world now without Title IX. I really, it's impossible. Not impossible, but it's really would be bad to see without Title IX, because the way sports have grown, you'd have to say the investments that's made, except for professionally when it comes to WNBA. But the way sport have grown that are co-ed or both boys and girls sports, it's really gotten competitive, and it's really good to see that at some levels, the female aspect of the game is better to me, as far as marketing, selling the game, and watching than other games because it's more technical. Uh, for instance, like soccer, women's basketball, it's definitely more technical and not just like athletes running all over the place. So if you want to see good, solid fundamentals in sports, uh, that's what you'll see the execution because women don't learn how to do things wrong. We do because we go out and try to be pigheaded and learn all the wrong ways. So,
All right. Uh, this topic is called Reports of Our Death Have Been Greatly Exaggerated. Top five recruit Robert Dillingham committed to Kentucky last week, giving the Wildcats their second top 30 guard of the 2023 class. Dillingham originally committed to NC State last December, but reopened his recruitment. He chose Kentucky over a Final Four that included Auburn, Louisville, and USC. John Calipari has now brought in 15 five-star point guards since taking over Kentucky in 2009. He landed a five-star position in all but two recruiting classes during that span and also landed two five-star point guards in 2018. Don't ever say this guy can't recruit. And now he's got top flight freshmen and he also has upperclassmen. So I don't know where your preseason top 25 is, but you better have Kentucky in it because I think they're going to have a bounce back year. Thoughts?
the reason they didn't win last year because they didn't have a point guard. Who's evaluating these people? You ain't see them guys play.
Washington was
Poor, poor decisions, poor passing, the lack of intensity and leadership. That guy, that goes back to your boy up in New Jersey. All the talent in the world. But leadership has to be a quality that people can't overlook. We pacify and overlook leadership and just think, oh, yeah, he'll be able to do it because he can do this, he can do this, he can do that. No, man. I don't see it. And that's what threw Kentucky in last year. Their point guard play was horrible in this tournament. It was horrible.
You did say that.
It was horrible, man.
Like I had no faith in them either. So I don't think we had either of us had them going far.
I've been cussing people out or something. We'd instituted a no dribble offense.
Yeah. That's a good drill. That was a good drill we did naturally because it forces you to stop, catch, look, all of that, all of the stuff forces you to use other senses.
Yeah, overtime we used to do when we did situation tournaments. We always did situation tournaments, and the tiebreaker in the tournament was a zero dribbling, sudden death. So
you got me wanting to get back in the gym somewhere, man.
Yeah, we got a jump ball and then a sudden death. Like it was, so they had to work together. They learned that they can run sets and everything without the ball even touching the ground. So
yes. All right. So to close off this segment, I want to give kudos to Nebraska. Nebraska junior offensive lineman Norden Noeli, who started the final 7 games last fall, will miss the 2022 season because of a failed drug test. He announced on Twitter that the NCAA declared him ineligible for the season. He will be allowed to practice with Nebraska this fall and plans to return in 2023. The young man said, "I would like to apologize to my family, teammates, coaches, and Husker fans for my error in judgment. It is an honor to be a part of this football program and represent this university. I do not take that responsibility lightly. Thanks to Coach Frost and our athletic and university administration for allowing me to continue to be a part of the program." So they didn't leave him. He gets to stay. I don't know about a scholarship situation, but the kid made a mistake. It happens a lot. And he didn't leave, go to the portal. So again, we'll keep an eye on this situation, but I applaud when folks, just try to help, and that's what education's supposed to do. Any thoughts, sir, before we close this segment?
None, man. Just
this off season kill. I am so nervous. As soon as they leave us, I'm like, man, just come back in one piece. And bad decisions, but they held on to him, and he has a chance to make amends and still work out, still go to school. So not every school would do that. So,
No.
so all right, with that, fans, we'll come back on the other side with the talk a little bit about college basketball newcomers and get coaches' thoughts on that on the Coaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to segment 3 of our Throwdown edition, Thursday edition of the Coaches podcast. I want to get my partner's initial thoughts on 2022-2023 college basketball season. And this is the men's side. So recently we talked, I believe last week's show, about the open evaluation period. And I myself have been out a little more. And Coach Franchise has been working with the in group, meaning guys post college education and still doing a little basketball. So I want to give you about 5 to 7 conferences and who their top recruiting pieces are, so to speak. So in the ACC, Mike, I looked at all the newcomers coming in, and the top newcomers are transfers, followed by top 100 kids, followed by 4 stars, followed by JUCOs. That's the ACC. In the Big East, number 1, transfers. 2, top 100 kids. 3, 4 stars recruits. And 4, 3-star recruits. In the Big Ten, number 1, transfers. Number 2, top 100 kids. 3, 4 stars. 4, 3 stars. 5, JUCO. And 6, there are some non-rated players coming into the Big Ten. Big 12, number 1, transfer. 2, top 100. 3, 4 stars. 4, JUCO. In the Pac-12, number 1, transfers. 2, top 100. 3, 4 stars. 4, not rated. 5, JUCO. SEC, number 1, say it with me, transfers. Top 100. 4 stars, JUCO, not rated, 3 stars. In the American Conference, who had 2 or 3 people drafted, transfer, top 100, 4-star, 3-star, not rated. Conference USA, coach, transfers. That was it for the newcomers. Mountain West, transfer, 4-star, not rated. And finally, in the WCC, which had, I believe, 3 players drafted, transfer, 4-star, top 100. With this data in front of you and what we're going to see in the fall, that's what we're going to see in the fall. What are your initial thoughts, sir? What are you thinking, man?
Transfers. I'm thinking transfers, but the funniest part, I'm thinking to myself, them top 100 become transfers, so chances are 90% of them fit both categories. So,
wow, that's a good thought.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. Those top 100s probably fit. Those top 100s, I would say 70% of them probably transfer. So
if you were sitting at the helm, as you've done so many years as a high school coach, man, what are you telling your players about the recruiting process now? Because I know what I'm telling my players, go to class and have as many options as you can. Go to class.
Don't let the lack of the classwork put you, don't let that minimize your options. Because if you academically straight, you can do almost anything now. You're academically straight, and you open everything. You open yourself up to much more. But when you restrict yourself because you don't push yourself in the classroom, then that's going to be an issue.
Yeah. All right. So we talked a little bit about it with the SEC last week or the week before. The 2022 ACC Big Ten Men's Basketball Challenge schedule is out. I'm going to give you the games, Coach, and you stop me on the games you want to see. Monday, November 28th, Minnesota at Virginia Tech and Pitt at Northwestern. Based on your pause, I'm going to go to Tuesday, November 29th, Syracuse at Illinois, Maryland at Louisville, okay, Penn State at Clemson. This ain't football, okay. Virginia at Michigan, I want to see that one. That's the one I want to see.
Because
I wish it was in Charlottesville. I like how Virginia defends, and I like that Juwan Howard, as a former post player, has got a gig. So
I was Maryland at Louisville. Why ain't Maryland home?
We'll see how that works out. And then we got Wake Forest at Wisconsin. I might want to check that one out too. And Georgia Tech at Iowa. No, thank you. Wednesday, November 30th, Ohio State at Duke.
Basketball, right?
Basketball.
Keep going.
Purdue at Florida State. Rutgers at Miami. North Carolina at Indiana. That's
Blue Bloods.
That's ball game. Michigan State at Notre Dame. That will be interesting because of the proximity. And Boston College at Nebraska. Click.
Sleeper. Did somebody say melatonin?
All right. So fans, as we close this Throwdown Thursday, I want to give you the preseason college football taping schedule so you can start to mark your calendars. We're going to open up and talk about the Pac-12, and that will air on July 14th. Hopefully we'll get some people involved in the Pac-12 with that one. Big 12 will be July 21st. ACC and Notre Dame. Hey, Jake, check your schedule. We've got that airing on July 28th. The Big Ten, I hope they let us come. We are lobbying to go to the Big Ten Media Day. That's going to air on August 4th. The SEC will air August 11th, our preview of the SEC. The Independents and the others will air August 18th, and I can't wait for my partner to make fun of all the bad bowl games. And we will do our full season preview, which will air August 25th, and week 0/1 is August 27th. So fans, we are covering NFL pillar to post, college football pillar to post, WNBA, NBA, college sports, all of that. Very excited about this, Mike, because blame you, Lindy Sports. It's your fault for putting Sam whoever on the cover and making me think that kid can play. And he's a backup for the Commanders now. Coach, anything to add before we close? Exciting time for us, man.
Sam was all right, man. Stop blaming in Lindy Sports.
Or Athlon or whoever it was.
I can't remember which one it was, but yeah. But it'll be all right. It's going to be good summer, busy off season into the fall. Look forward to it.
All right. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines, and we really will. Till next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches.
Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CCA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CCA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.